Well, a very good afternoon to you and welcome. This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News on the 30th of June and I am Rose Gakoa. Our sign language interpreter is Wilson Mushara. Thank you so much for creating time to join us as we bring you up to speed on the latest happenings within the country as well as beyond our borders. Remember, you can always interact with us. We are online. We are also on air online. It's at KBC Channel 1. Tweet me directly at Rose_Gakoa. Well, you can also write to us via our text. Or rather via text on our SMS line 22126, 22126 right there on the screens. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin, and we begin on a political note. Chaos marred an Orange Democratic Movement Party meeting held in Kakamega in the wake of divisions within the National Super Alliance. One person was injured during the meeting, which was organized by the party's special committee to analyze its performance during the last general election. These members of the Orange Democratic Party had assembled here with a view to analyze the party's performance in last year's general election. Hell, however, broke loose when rowdy youths stormed the meeting, accusing organizers of overlooking regional party officials. A member of the special committee covering the meeting was injured during the incident. In Turkana County, area political leadership has embarked on an ambitious campaign to educate the public on the benefits of the early oil pilot. In Turkana County, area political leadership has embarked on an ambitious campaign to educate the public on the benefits of the early oil pilot scheme.
We hear of oil being transported. Who are going to transport this oil? Which trucks are going to transport this oil? We are talking about 30% for the local community. We are not even informed as a community. How are these going to be actualized? Because there's no legislation in place.
Tuko na wasiwasi mingi sana juu ya vile wakati mafuta itatolewa ama ile process ya mafuta kutolewa. Hii hazardous waste ama hii uchafu yenye iko kwa hali mbaya zaidi itakuwa handled haje.
Tension has been simmering between the leadership and the locals who have expressed reservations over the multi-billion shillings project.
Which kind of leaders do we have? Because in the past we've realized that our leaders, when they are chosen to represent us, when it comes to the issue of capital or money management, they don't feel the community. They don't give services to the community.
Suspects, or rather 24 suspects in the National Youth Service, among them Public Service Principal Secretary Lilian Omolo and NYS Director General Richard Dubai, will spend 1 week in custody as they await a ruling on their bail applications. The Anti-Corruption Court is expected to deliver the ruling on the June 5th.
It was a long day in court for the suspects of the National Youth Service 9 billion shillings scandal when they appeared before the Anti-Corruption Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogot in a marathon hearing that went past midnight. The 24 suspects, who include suspended Public Service Principal Secretary Lilian Omolo and National Youth Service Director General Richard Dubai, were presented to the court slightly after 2 p.m. Tuesday. But it was not until past midnight that the Anti-Corruption Court Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogot slated Tuesday next week as the day when the suspects will know whether they will be freed on bail. Earlier, it was a game of wit between the suspects' lawyers and the prosecution, as the former pleaded with the court to have their clients freed on bond, with the latter objecting, arguing that the detectives had to complete their investigations. The court also ordered another 30 suspects linked to the scandal and who are at large to present themselves to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations by Thursday 2 p.m. Samson Kitavi, Lunchtime News.
The adverse effects of the ongoing rains continue to be felt across Samburu County, with 19 people said to have died from the latest floods. And with the rains appearing to have subsided, several families in the area are rebuilding their lives, having lost their entire herd of livestock.
Untold suffering, pain, agony is what remains alive for locals of Samburu County following months of heavy downpour. Loss of life, destruction of property and loss of livestock remains evident as locals try to come to terms with the devastating and harrowing experience 2 months of heavy torrential. More than 500 families have been rendered homeless, 19 people reported dead, while 7,000 livestock lost through the killer floods. Speaking after chairing a meeting with the National Drought Management Authority in Maralal Town, Samburu Governor Moses Lonel Kulal said the region had received unprecedented amounts of rains this year.
There is also an effect in infrastructure. Close to 17 boreholes have been swept away. We've lost a number of classrooms across primary schools, across our ECD centers. Equally, the roads are close to 70% affected. We've lost some bridges, and some roads have been heavily affected.
Lonel Kulal noting that the heavy rains have presented a logistical nightmare for authorities. Lonel Kulal says the county engineers are on standby to monitor some of the critical dams, particularly Magi Dam, which has been flagged off as one of the major hazards, and will be sending teams to monitor other water bodies.
Some water pans have busted, about 6 water pans, and we are monitoring others, particularly in areas that will affect downstream settlements. Our engineers will be on standby to monitor some of the critical dams, particularly Mugie Dam, which has been flagged off as one of the major hazards.
The alert has been extended to health officials in the area, with fears of possible outbreak of waterborne disease remaining reef.
In terms of health, we are managing the situation. There is no major outbreak, and we are on standby. Our teams are well facilitated. We have facilities equipped with all the requirements, the drugs and the stocks, just on standby in case of any outbreaks.
For KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News, I'm Linus Moshegadi.
Revelers and operators of a bar at Karogia in Kangema, Muranga County, found themselves on the wrong side of the law after police pounced on their unlicensed drinking spot. The law enforcers were in the area following a tip-off from members of the public on the illegal operations at the establishment.
It is morning hours at Karugia Trading Center in Kangema, Muranga County. All seems well at a glance until one notices the peculiar sight of men staggering down the streets. Nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that the laws of the land prohibit bars from operating before 5 p.m. So where did these guys get drunk? Do they have access to a secret watering hole? These questions got tongues wagging at Karugia Center, and as the information went through the grapevine, unfortunately for them, it landed in the ears of authorities, who decided to follow the trail of members of the Association of the Daily Drinkers all the way to their secret source in this dark and cave-like unlicensed bar, cunningly hidden behind a row of blameless-looking shops. And here the officers hit the jackpot, or the skegpot, depends on who you ask. No amount of excuses and explanations would save the 6 patrons and their barmaid, who were bundled into the police vehicle in quick order with evidence of their unlicensed throat lubrication. This old man, shackled ironically to a much younger man who protested his innocence, did not resist. You see, he has lived long enough to know that it's no use crying over spilt beer, and that his goose was totally cooked. Kiharu Deputy County Commissioner Kefa Marube, who led the operation, called on members of the public to be vigilant and share information on illegal activities in their neighborhoods.
Katika hali hiyo ya kusimama tumepata kweli baa imefunguliwa. Hata hiyo baa haina jina. Haina jina, tumekamata mwenyewe na pombe ya aina ya keg vile mnaona pale na ingine ya Kenya Breweries wanauza masaa mabaya. Ile kitu inafanya sisi tusimame hapa ni kwa sababu wananchi wa hapa wamelalamika.
Every 4 minutes is a chance for you to win big with Mega Dollar. Just go to Lipa na M-Pesa, enter paybill number 295888, account name KBC, and amount from 10 shillings or more. Then select your 10 numbers from 1 to 80 and send to 29588. You can win up to 30 million shillings. Start playing now and win. Mega Dollar. Big winners every 4 minutes.
OMG, Jill, umerudi?
Did I just hear you say OMG?
Squeeze pia mimi lugha naelewa.
Shiro, where's my baby?
Idea you jaribu kunipiga.
Mike, apologize to Shiro now.
Or else what?
Don't you dare raise your voice at me. Why are you rattling with everyone?
It's simple. I call it the Joel's effect.
Now tell me, what jobs does my dad tell you to go and do for him?
You really want to know?
I wonder how your friendship with Jill will be like when she finds out that you're the one who took out her uncle.
You didn't dare rat me out to jail, Paul.
How do you even live with all these things happening? Unishingiaje hizi mastaff zote?
Paul, I'm the string that puts all this together. Fresh.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping us company. If you're just joining us now, this is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Let's proceed. Over 900 former National Youth Service cohorts from Kajiado County have raised concern over what they say is delayed payment of their dues. The youths who say they're unable to access their 9 months want the government to intervene in the matter.
The over 900 youth say they have remained in the dark for the last 1 year since their contract lapsed. The youth, mainly drawn from Kajiado County, were deployed across Kajiado East Sub-County into groups working for 5 days in a week with a daily stipend of 471 shillings, where 141 shillings was deducted daily as a savings.
Tulikuwa tunafanya kazi hapo NYS. Tukakuja mwezi wa 9 ndio kazi iliisha. Pesa yetu tulikuwa tuna save. Hatujui mali ilienda juu kuna wale walipata loan. Wamama walihangaika, wengine wakafungiwa nyumba.
Hii pesa NYS tumefuatilia kwa muda mrefu sana. Tulianza hii mradi last year. Tukafanya mwezi 9, tukaambiwa tutawekewa pesa ya saving kwa account. Mpaka sasa hivi hatujawekewa.
Making a passionate appeal for the government to intervene, the youth claim that NYS savings are being managed by cartels out to enrich themselves at the expense of legitimate beneficiaries.
Watu wanatuhangaisha sana, hiyo ni dhuluma na ni mbaya sana kuhangaisha kila mtu pesa yake kwa sababu ni savings. Ilikuwa kila mtu atumiwa kwa simu yake ama kwa akaunti yake.
Tunaomba sana serikali ikiweza kuingilia, tufuatilie hiyo pesa kwa sababu imetusumbua sana na ni watu tunawajua ndio wanakula.
The groups claimed that each member had saved 15,000 shillings before the expiry of the contract. For Lunchtime News, I'm Kaltun Jama.
Over 18,000 street children have been rescued and placed under the government's rehabilitation program over the last 15 years. Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund CEO Robert Njogu says the organization is rolling out county government chapters to boost its rescue programs and offer various skills to the children before they are integrated back in society.
The question of street families has remained challenged for subsequent administrations, with most of the major towns in the country still teeming with street children and families. Speaking in Mombasa, Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund CEO Robert Njogu said the government remains committed to address the challenge, with about 18,000 street children having been rescued since the agency was established in 2003.
The only place they call home is a base, a tunnel somewhere. Could be at a Global Cinema, could be at the Central Park, and so on and so forth. Those are the people who we describe as street families per se. But then he counted everybody. That was the Mama Bogas, the hookers, the shoe shiners. Of course, you agree with me. The number he or she will come up with will be faulty.
Njogu says the agency is rolling out county government chapters to boost its rescue programs and at the same time offer various skills to the children before they are integrated back in the society.
We have a very ambitious vision of having a country free of street families and so on. So that policy, it is nearly at its final draft. Already we have done validation and we are bringing on board the inputs from those participants in that validation exercise.
In 2018, the government channeled 270 million shillings to 39 rescue institutions. Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru and Eldoret towns take the lead on the number of street families. Irene Mchuma Odim, The Lunchtime News.
In the international scene, the U.S. Governor of Missouri, Eric Greitens, who is facing impeachment over an extramarital affair and campaign finance inquiry, has announced that he will resign on Friday. The first-time governor was considered a rising Republican star until allegations emerged that he photographed a woman without her consent.
The ex-Navy SEAL governor of Missouri was charged with felony computer data tampering last month and is accused of receiving $6 million for his 2016 campaign. A judge gave the governor's political non-profit group Annex Missouri till Friday to turn over communications between it and Greitens' office. An ex-Greitens advisor on Tuesday told the State House investigative panel that the governor's election campaign had considered illegally soliciting donations from foreign nationals. The Missouri General Assembly, controlled by the governor's own party, had been considering whether he should be impeached or not.
Will take you to the house so that you can see where the people who betrayed you are. But I really have to warn you about one thing. Vengeance is a dish that is better served cold, all right?
Kumbe 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 kwa Yesu ni raha. Tumekuja kupare kwa Yesu. Ulizia uambiwe mambo za shetani yakudaiwe. Nasikia kuzitoka. Baba nichukue nifunze, nataka kusoma kwa shule yako, nichukue nifunze, nataka kusoma kwa shule yako, Noma, moto. When I'm singing praise to my God, oh.
Bishop Margaret Wanjiru of Jesus is Alive Ministry invites you every Tuesday at 10 p.m. for spiritual uplifting messages in The Glory is Here. Join us as she ministers the Word of God. You cannot afford to miss it.
The words of the very great Albert Einstein. He said, we have to change our minds in solving the problems we used when creating those problems. Have democratic countries not failed us?
We concede to the fact that understanding is a process that our opponents have definitely proved and failed to internalize into their systems. We are not saying that we should suspend democratic elections. We should not do such a thing. Instead, merge both of them.